I know there's a lot of weed heads who follow me and be like, Russo, stop saying sativas because they make sativas behave like indicas now, and I get it. Okay, I do weed strains that slow me down, make me tired. What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Please follow my Instagram at RussoLifts, just in case something happens to this YouTube channel. You can follow, message, and you can watch my daily story content on Instagram. I'll see you there. What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. ASMR sip. I'm doing the Orange Karma. No sponsor. Alright, so today's topic is going to be marijuana withdrawals. Why I'm quitting weed. This is probably going to be titled, I'm quitting weed because of TREN. So in the other video Andrew made, I'll throw that up. I discuss on, basically how TREN impacts me as far as my smoking goes, right? Going into my chronic smoking of the Kush, right? Today's gonna be roughly, I'd say like the 6th day away from Delta 9. Okay, I've switched on to Delta 8. I'm weaning myself off slowly, so I've been doing the CBD pens and Delta 8. It's difficult for me because I'm using Delta 9 as a crutch to slow my mind down, right? So with most people are like, oh, weed makes you lazy, weed makes you like, oh, you don't want to ambitious, you're like lazy, complacent. Like for me, it's like the speed bump of like, yo, you're an entrepreneur and you just like cranked out work on your phone in the metaverse the whole day. Like, why don't you relax your mind at 9-10 o'clock at night and kind of bring the speed of your brain down to more of a normal person's level? That's where I get stuck up with weed, is just making myself stupid for a few hours so I'm not constantly redlining work, thinking about work, making more moves, because the way I work, I could always be making more moves, and it's more about, maintaining sanity while keeping a high work output and your actions per minute high. But there comes a point where you cross that line and will start to burn out. The weed's kind of in there so I can watch a movie, or I can, interact with my girl and just be stoned happy and, a little bit stupid, right? I don't even do sativas, and I know there's a lot of weed heads who follow me and be like, Russo, stop saying sativas because they make sativas behave like indicas now, and I get it. Okay, I do weed strains that slow me down, make me tired, instead of weed strains that give me an eye high, speed me up like Adderall. Like sativas, on how sativas are supposed to behave, it doesn't work with me at all. I'm much more sped up. Not why I do weed. I do weed to slow down, relax. So indicas or sativas that behave like indicas are my crutch. Now in the other video, I discuss how, different androgens impact my marijuana usage, specifically TREN, making weed highs unenjoyable, right? The interaction between TREN and THC in the brain, there's obviously a battle going on for the receptors, at least for me personally. And yeah, I have horrible panic, anxiety, which I normally don't really ever have when I smoke off TREN. But we all know I'm trying to compete. TREN will be one of the tools in my toolbox, and Alec has told me to order TREN. Now I'm in the process of moving. Once I'm completed with moving, I will be starting the TREN and then dialing in even harder. I will definitely be quitting weed, so I'm weaning myself off it currently. But I wanted to talk about the withdrawals, right? Because it's not really talked about, and I did want to talk about why I decided to use weed. Besides, the obvious inclination of helping me sleep, helping me slow down my mind and all that, I more wanted to talk about, like, I was super straight edge in high school, right? I was super straight edge. I did not have a drop of alcohol in high school. I actually still don't drink at all because I just do the PEDs, and I'm bipolar, right? I don't really like doing alcohol because I'm afraid if there's, not some big dude watching me that has good intentions, that if someone agitated me, I'm not saying I can beat the shit out of every person on the planet. All I'm saying is I become a problem if I get agitated, right? You're gonna have to sleep me. So yeah, I've always stayed away from alcohol due to that reason, and I am more of a happy drunk, believe it or not, but it takes one trigger switch to bring the demon out of Russo onto someone. So that led me towards weed because I did want to, explore as far as psychoactive compounds go, right, weed is the gateway, dipping your foot in. And I'm chill with saying it how it is. I definitely wanted to expand my mind, especially when I was younger, because if you don't understand, your cortex is still, open, essentially. You're still able to inhale knowledge at an unprecedented rate, and your mind is not expanded yet. As you age, as you get older, as you gain more wisdom, your mind, quote unquote, expands. So my goal back then was to use weed, and I've used acid and other things to expand my mind faster at those ages, right? To age my soul faster before my cortex closed. Well, guess what? I'm over 25. My cortex is closed. Overall, there's less inclination for the need to use weed. It's almost as if the argument of like, I've seen what I need to see with acid, I've seen what I needed to see with weed. As far as like how they aid my development, it's more like a crutch drug that I'm addicted to. Other than the fact that I am a high output entrepreneur and I can get away with doing indica at night forever and it not really impacting my performance, actually aiding my performance by speed bumping me. The major caveat, besides me going on TREN, that also inclinates me towards quitting weed is that people, I get the best sleep on weed. I sleep the best. It's a double-edged sword. You are not getting REM sleep. REM sleep is when you're dreaming. Some people dream on weed. Personally, after you smoke for a while consistently every night, I stopped dreaming. Now, there's a lot of darkness in my past, right? I don't mind not dreaming. I will say that since I've been off of Delta 9, I have started dreaming heavily again. And if you don't understand how the brain works, your dreams will be insane when you quit weed, right? Your dreams will be insane because your brain is catching up on the REM sleep that it missed out on. You're still getting deep sleep, but the brain's truly not in the reset, like self-simulation REM sleep that you would want to hit if you're constantly doing Delta 9. On Delta 8, I do enter REM, and some people do enter REM on Delta 9. But I'm saying chronic usage, you see REM sleep start to go out the window. And if you guys have inclination on if you're hitting REM or not, I'll have Andrew throw up a picture. You can buy the Aurora sleep ring and start tracking your sleep. Now I need to get one of those. I'm recommending that to everyone, but buy the sleep ring. I'm gonna buy one. I'm not sponsored. I know it's an expensive little gadget, but I will be buying one and I'm gonna put my name on it and get it. But basically, right, you want to be hitting REM constantly. That's how your brain resets the best. And you can, how do I word this? Basically, you have an advantage in high level output. If you can train your mind to do this, I guarantee you will be more successful in life. And I can't personally do this right now based on my chronic weed abuse. But like, let's say right before you go to sleep, remember something, right? And when you wake up, remember what you were thinking about right before you fell asleep. And if you do that day after day after day after day, you'll notice you're more on top of your shit. I don't know how to explain it like philosophically, but like right before you fall asleep, if you remember what you're thinking about the next day, that's like, a eureka moment, in my opinion. That's where I want to be at my stage in life, is that I have so much REM sleep that my brain is functioning so good that I can remember what I was thinking about right before I went to sleep. Okay, when I'm stoned out of my mind's all over the place in La La Land, I don't remember what I thought about right before I went to sleep. And that puts me in a different mind state when I wake up. So I guess my goal when I quit TREN is to lean towards more meditation. I have a friend, my best friend's actually really into spirituality and shit and did meditation. He got me into psychedelic drugs and he got me into healing my depression with psychedelic drugs, which I'm gonna do a separate video on. But at the end of the day, meditation is far superior. You just have to put in the work, right? And he's told me that for years, and I say, if you actually want to get good at meditation, it's like you're sacrificing an hour of your day every day, and you're gonna be shitty at meditation for about, I'd say, 6 months until you get really good consistently with it. And then you can achieve these mind states naturally that, weed helps you get to, acid helps you get to, mushrooms help you get to. You realize the drugs are there to show you it's possible. Meditation is there to show you if you're high enough in spirituality that you can get there naturally. And then when you see a Buddhist monk who makes it their life, like you see how inclinated they are with themselves and how I need to strive farther down that path if I'm truly trying to max myself out everywhere. How have the withdrawals been going? So I told everyone I'm not completely off of weed. I do have a Delta 8 pen and I am weaning myself off currently. I'm really trying to restrain Delta 9 to weekends only. My girlfriend is fully on board and knows that I am an addict of weed and that we are trying to work myself off it. I am one that is very strong-minded, I would say, but I think with weed it is my crutch because it's been an escapism addiction that I've used in my past to just check out for current periods of time at night and, you know, think on all my moves, think in slow motion. You know, it slows down linear time. Basically what I'm saying is, like, the way my brain works, I'm using weed almost as a different sort of PED than just getting stoned and watching TV aimlessly. Like when I'm getting stoned by myself, and you know the Kid Cudi song "Of Andrew," you know, the Lonely Stoner, right? I'm thinking of all the moves that are going on in my life in different perspectives that weed easily gives me access to, which helps me weigh out my decisions. Okay, I'm not like sitting there stoned stupid most of the time when I'm using weed. I'm using as a philosophical tool. The way I'll word this to a general person is like, you see weed's impact on music, right? Weed gives musicians this separate perspective or the ability to create a vibe with the song that maybe they could not come up with sober, similar to how even the best computer science programmers, software developers microdose mushrooms every day. So when they sit in front of their code and they're doing their algorithms and coding trees and they're looking through all their entities and attributes of their coding project, thinking of how they could either make it more efficient or more streamlined and bug fixes, that little bit of mushroom might give that spark of a different perspective that unlocks them to the next level of whatever they're trying to solve. So I look at weed at that type of level. Now, like I said, on TREN, it's out the window. I have to quit because they just don't mix. All I'm saying is, like, if you are that kid smoking, wasting away your life, realize the reasons I use weed and realize that I didn't start using weed until I made over $6,000 a month. Right? Consistently. Keep that into consideration. I used it as a reward system. Everything is manipulation in the world, and I did that as a delayed gratification to reach that level because I knew once I reached that level of income, an associated level of stress would then result in that income, right? And to help mitigate the stress, the pressure, I added that in as the crutch in hopes to give me new perspective, expand my mind at that age, etc., etc. Now that I'm older, right, it's if I want to think on something or if I just want to slow my brain down, and in reality, meditation is far superior, and I'm just addicted to the devil's lettuce right now. That being said, will I quit weed forever? Realistically, no. I do want to keep it within weekends only. I think if I have problems sleeping or something and I know I'm not going to hit REM, for example, right, I get worked up, my mind gets worked up, you know, basically at night I was on the phone with Alec starts ramping my brain, takes me 2 hours to wind my brain down. I cannot just shut off like a light switch like some dudes and just go to sleep. That's just simply not how my brain works. I will be trying to go with Delta 8 and CBD during the weekdays, and then after the TREN I will probably resort to Delta 9, aka legitimate actual psychoactive weed on the weekends, preferably Saturday or Friday, and leave my Sunday as a detox day to get it out of my system. This will result in way better REM sleep and brain health and long-term memory cognition, while still maintaining the crutch of me needing something, as in I don't drink, as in if I want to have a little fun. I'm not super anti-drug. I take a lot of drugs as PEDs, not recreational. That is where I'm at with the weed addiction. I will say that in closing, you know, the withdrawals have not been that bad, but I feel like people think, you know, weed is a free ticket, and it's not. You know, it's not. I weighed in a lot of ifs, ands, or buts in this conversation. Like, if I had a child and they brought up marijuana to me, I don't know if I would be opposed to them trying it, obviously, but it's a tool. It depends on how you use it. I've discussed how I've used it, and I've discussed the drawbacks and side effects similar to my PEDs. The overall takeaway I want you to take from this video is that not every weed smoker is a lazy fuck, and it can be used very advantageously. At the same time, it's a double-edged sword that can slowly swallow you. It depends on how strong your mind is at controlling it, and you could say that I have succumbed to smoking it every night. That's too much, but at the weekends only, I don't think it's doing that much damage compared to, you know, the blue light stimulation of screens and everything. Hopefully you guys found this video entertaining. I will see you guys in my next one.